Similar to being smashed by boulders in my Baldur's Gate 3 run, I was hit by 4 cars during my time as a bicycle messenger. This averaged to 1 time a year, and then another time while I was in grad school. The last time sent me flying over my handlebars. I was doing a somersault through the air, rolling across the pavement as I made contact with my helmet. Watching this must have been insane as I went from my helmet to my bag and rolled out of it onto my feet and stood up. So I guess that parkour boot camp I took a couple months back really paid off. Or my plot armor was so strong due to have a Mandalorian patch on all of my messenger bags. We'll never know. Either way, I was incredibly lucky. Hello, I'm Isaac Way. I saw this most likely photoshopped or AI generated image on Reddit, and similar to the title, I became incredibly annoyed, and this video manifested 1 day later. This video is on situational awareness and how that applies to everyday situations when we're out and about. I'm not going to take you through fire forces training, looking up, down, and all around my years as a bicycle messenger or grad school courses on international disaster and emergency management. That's right, I studied international disaster and emergency management 10 years ago and saw the predictions of a very bleak and despairing future combined with a highly stressful job, and I became a personal trainer instead, directly improving individuals' health and fitness on a daily basis. Let's keep this moving forward and define what the video is all about. Folks familiar with the term situational awareness are likely to be military or first responders, so if this is the first time that you're hearing it, that is fine. Situational awareness is directly related to perception, which is the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something through our senses. Situational awareness is the ability to use our perception to understand what is happening around us and then effectively respond to our situation at hand. Inhibiting our senses by slowly walking while staring straight down at our phones or blasting music to inspire brilliant hikes not only decreases our situational awareness and likewise increases our risk of harm, but also influences everyone around you. Let's go back to the phone. While using your phone while driving is directly related to a record 40-year high in pedestrian deaths. Phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes in the US each year. The numbers are absolutely staggering in this car-centric society. When using a phone while driving, we directly increase our risk of incident while reducing our perception of the surrounding situation. We are not fully aware of what is happening around us. We will receive a significant reduction in our ability to effectively respond, actually increasing the chances of an accident by over 400%. As an American bicyclist league certified instructor, I learned that at best, we are only responsible for 50% of the problem or crashes that we encounter. A one-on-one encounter leaves the other 50% to the other party involved. And if there are more than 2 parties involved, that percentage is going to go down across the board. Best thing we can do to reduce the risk of crashes is not hinder our 50% contribution. The second best thing we can do is have experience in other people's shoes, on the road, in the country or city. This means that we have experience as a car driver, a motorcyclist, a cyclist, and a pedestrian, and we are significantly higher to have good situational awareness, increasing our ability to understand what is happening around us and effectively responding to the situation at hand. I have experience in all of these. A hell of a lot more drivers can benefit from more experience as a pedestrian. The US is reaching record high pedestrian deaths, with every day 20 people walk outside and end up getting killed by a moving vehicle. We can do better. Let's put our phones down and do our part and help save a life today. Okay, I need a little break from this. So let's get outside and back to how this video started. A portable, waterproof speaker being marketed towards outdoor use. So here I am hiking out Zion National Park. After a common courtesy hello to oncoming hikers, they greet us, and in return, they tell us that there's a rattlesnake up ahead. While hiking, I am now actively looking and listening for a rattlesnake. This isn't my first time. I've come across numerous snakes from my childhood on. The shirt I'm wearing is a kabuki strength design inspired by Chris Duffin's childhood encounters of rattlesnakes in Oregon. I also grew up in Southern Oregon, spending most of my childhood in Rogue River. I see a shift in the bushes to the right, and I spot the snake moving away from me, well hidden from an untrained eye. Seeing the snake before hearing the rattle is best, and here's a look at my encounter. A rattlesnake that just went in here. We were warned there's one on the side. Just gotta let him do his little thing. It looks like he's coming back out.
To not let him get too close.
Ooh, he's fine. We don't have him alarmed. I hear faded music in the distance, becoming louder as we hike to a meeting point. Around the corner, 2 or 3 people come, followed by this sweaty, careless man marking his arrival well in advance of echoing music. This hiker is reeling along as if this was a great challenge, necessary for incredibly loud, upbeat, motivational music. Well, maybe it was incredibly challenging for him, but I am thankful to hear the music fade in the distance as we go our separate ways. So there are 2 rattlesnakes on this trail, and blasting music completely removes our hearing from situational awareness. If you're not looking for a snake, then you're very unlikely to spot it before hearing it. And if a completely engulfed sound system is sitting behind your head, you're not going to be hearing a rattle before it's too late. Situational awareness and perception directly tie into Baldur's Gate 3, a recently released computer role-playing game inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. In the next clips, I'm going to play as an oblivious smash things and move along character, and then as a situationally aware character to simulate some great outcomes while highlighting the game's ability to allow players to play in a variety of ways. In this video, I'm zoomed in close.
If the gods are watching me.
Smash my way in and rush forward, quickly triggering a trap and having a giant boulder roll across my team, wiping out one of my characters. Luckily, the others survived, so I'm able to pick that character up. This was a blunder of the entire scenario. In the second playthrough, I started out from a high point of view. Noticed that one of my characters could use a heal.
Watch the shadows.
And then I'd enter the cave with my storing thief. He actually says, watch the shadows. I love this.
Oh dear. Someone's left a trap out for us.
Succeeds in detecting the first trap, and I climb a ladder to get a better view and see a giant boulder ahead. I disarm the trap.
This'll be fun.
And a second trap, disarm that, and progress to unlock an inspiration for Karlach. In Baldur's Gate 3, perception is a wisdom-based skill. Your wisdom via perception check lets you spot, hear, or otherwise detect the presence of something. It measures your general awareness of your surroundings and the keenness of your senses. It has long been established that a wise person is cautious and listens, taking in the surroundings and evaluating the situation at hand before acting. This applies to all manners of life. The opposite of a wise person is a fool, and we can definitely say that fools are running amok in our society, minor inconveniencing people to outright killing people because of their actions. Similar to being smashed by boulders in my Baldur's Gate 3 run, I was hit by 4 cars during my time as a bicycle messenger. This averaged to 1 time a year, and then another time while I was in grad school. The last time sent me flying over my handlebars. I was doing a somersault through the air, rolling across the pavement as I made contact with my helmet. Watching this must have been insane as I went from my helmet to my bag and rolled out of it onto my feet and stood up. So I guess that parkour boot camp I took a couple months back really paid off. Or my plot armor was so strong due to have a Mandalorian patch on all of my messenger bags. We'll never know. Either way, I was incredibly lucky. Going back to the 4 previous situations, I saw 3 of them beforehand and was able to set up myself for a glancing blow, mitigating nearly all damage to myself, my bicycle, and the cars. If I wasn't fully aware of my surroundings then, I could have easily ended up injured, hospitalized, or worse. We should not just be using our senses to avoid threats. There is much more to life than living in fear. There's also much more than just the view at the peak or the waterfall you're looking for at the end. The rewarding view at the end is for the most novice approach to hiking. Don't get me wrong, views are nice, but everyone can enjoy that, and oftentimes that is all that the uninformed mind judges trails by.
Here I am enjoying the wind.
I often hear people describe the mountains out west as majestic, and there's no point to go hiking out east, right? The mountains aren't as tall. However, the Great Smoky Mountains and Shenandoah National Park individually each have more biodiversity than any national park out west. What's that? It's everything living that you're not situationally aware of. But the more you learn about nature, the more you appreciate and understand it. On Baldur's Gate 3, you have classes, and maybe you think I may be a ranger or a druid, but now's the time to mention that I'm playing as a paladin under the Oath of the Ancients, which is described as you fight on the side of light in the cosmic struggle against darkness to preserve the sanctity of life and the beauty of nature. The journey to the peak is far often more enjoyable to those in the know. There are so many benefits of having our senses active in nature. I'm not talking about the numerous health benefits, that's for another video. From fishing and bird watching to spelunking and photography, good luck getting cool shots of snakes, fawns, or capturing a dragonfly in your finger when you're a marching band, or catching up on text messages while on trail. Using our eyes to spot mushrooms, berries, foraging and hunting goes back to the dawn of our existence, and now we're moving away from that. Check out that squat and cauliflower mushroom. Yes, that's edible.
Big boy.
With more and more people enjoying our national parks, forests, and other public lands, well, maybe not all those folks getting gored by bison lately, but let's take a look at situational awareness being applied to the wilderness. Away from the plant and animal life, situational awareness should focus on being prepared. Starting with navigation, do we know our direction and route? When we approach a trail or the wilderness, we should know from which direction we are coming from and how to get back to that starting point. How are the weather conditions? Do we have appropriate clothing for hot temperatures and a rainy day, or layers for the cold? We want access to food and water for energy and perhaps electrolytes to help restore our balance from long periods of sweating. Like in Baldur's Gate 3, when I used a healing potion, we should have a first aid kit for emergencies. This may include helping others we come across. Situational awareness when it comes to the flora and fauna is being aware of hazardous plant life. Poison oak, ivy, or sumac, and plants like stinging nettles are good to know. Noises in the distance, such as a tree branch breaking and falling, or the huffing and puffing of a large animal, or even a human shouting away a bear or crying for help, are good to be aware of. I have helped lead someone who got stuck in a thicket out and back on trail just by shouting back and forth. I have also had trail runners shout and clap bear warnings for miles. Maybe I, with this camera, would like to see and take a picture of a bear from a safe distance. Visually, we want to look for animal markings like bear poop, animals that you may not notice until you're upon them, like venomous snakes, and an animal everyone hates, ticks. I personally do a tick check on trail when I return the vehicle and again before I shower. I'm pretty sure you don't want to become allergic to meat. Yes, this is a real thing. I recommend being a good steward by practicing leave no trace principles, which include planning ahead, respecting wildlife. This means I have to shout for you to stop and then lecture you about why it's wrong to throw rocks at a deer in a national park. You probably should not be backpacking in the first place. While I was taking pictures of a doe deer, one member of a group of 4 started throwing rocks at the deer to get it to move off trail. Your fear of deer is concerning. Back to the list. Be considerate of other visitors. This is looking at that portable boombox marketed for outdoor use. And leave the place as you find it, or do one better and take someone else's litter out with you. Remember, situational awareness saves lives. Using their unrestricted perception and effectively responding to situations at hand will lead to fewer traffic crashes, less cyclists flying through the air, fewer pedestrians being killed, and will promote a wilderness environment that is knowledgeable and respectful to life around you, even if we don't quite understand it all. Situational awareness is also going to make your Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough one hell of a good time. I'm going to conclude this video with a 2-minute video of otters that I had to be very situationally aware of and quite stealthy to approach, because as you'll see, these 3 otters are extremely alert. Enjoy, and thank you for watching.